This week's safety talk is on electricity. For many of you that have been here at Berglund Construction Company for a few years, I believe most of you understand that we did have a subcontractor on our job site. He was a certified electrician, and he decided to work on some live open circuitry. And if you don't understand electricity, electricity kind of holds on to you when you become in contact with a bad circuit per se. And it's very hard to get yourself off that circuit. And it travels through your body. It's actually an expression called it follows the path of least resistance to ground. Electricity needs to go through something to get to ground. It could be scaffold components, metal components. It could even be while you're standing in water. If there was a bad extension cord in the water, you could actually become electrocuted. And the thing about electricity is it affects your respiratory system, and it can stop your heart. It can kill you. If it doesn't travel through vital organs in your body, but it does travel through your heart, we've got serious issues. But the thing about electricity is it burns you from the inside out. If you do survive from electricity, you're going to have a lot of after effects that are going to try your human tissue. It's very, very sad how this all works. Looking at electricity on Berglund construction job sites, if I'm in a boom lift and I'm working around overhead power lines, I'm supposed to stay a minimum of 10 feet away. If I'm using a crane around overhead power lines, I'm supposed to stay 20 feet away. One of the engineering controls that we can use for overhead power lines is to call our utility companies, such as a ComEd, have them come out and insulate the lines if we feel that we're going to get closer than we should. That's one engineering control. When I'm looking at extension cords, this extension cord has got this ground prong on it. This ground prong plugged into a ground fault circuit, a GFCI, will trigger that GFCI and I won't get shocked. But the minute I lose that ground on that plug or on my tools, on my extension cords or tools, I am exposed to a shock to my body. If I'm working on a scaffold or a ladder and I take a shock to my body, boom, I'm taking a header and I'm going to probably bruise my soft tissues or fracture some bones. Look at your tools. This is a UL approved grinder. Nice plastic coating to protect us from electricity. Double insulated, that's why it doesn't have a ground prong on it. Plugging this into a GFCI, we're good to go. We have all this protection protecting us from that electrical circuit. When we're on the job sites and the electricians are working in those electrical closets, those panels that they're opening up, they need to be locked out, tagged out, they need to be shut down. Otherwise, they need to be wearing the full caloried suits. The full caloried suits are another engineering control. So we've got GFCIs, we've got caloried suits, we've got insulated overhead power lines. We have you inspecting every cord and every tool that you use prior to use. All of these things help us from taking a shock and harming ourselves, possibly saving our lives. Let's be our brother's keeper. This week's Safety Toolbox Talk is about electricity. Are you looking at every single tool that you use before each use? Because you're supposed to. Your life can depend on it. So collectively, let's share some stories about electricity hazards that we might have been affiliated with throughout our lifetime in the trades. And let's have a safe week. Thank you.